Hey there, and welcome to yet another edition of Listing Agent Accelerator by Dark Horse Commercial, where we'll be discussing how to rewire your mind for better performance. Okay, I'm Christian Peter, CCIM, and today we'll be talking about journaling and the effect that it has on rewiring your brain so you can be the best version of you possible. Hey, thanks so much for tuning in. Really looking forward to dive into today's subject. And as I alluded to it before, what we're going to be going over is the effect on your brain and the ability to rewire your subconscious that journaling does. You know, a lot of people think it's woo-woo. A lot of people think it's foo-foo and all this other stuff, and they don't believe it. But the cool thing about it is, if you suspend your disbelief just for a little bit, you will be absolutely amazed at how much it will help you. Okay. Now here's the thing, right? I wasn't born on some island in some tropical place where everything is palm trees and sunshine and rainbows and unicorns, right? I'm from Jersey, right? I grew up 20 miles outside New York City, right? So if there's any place that foo-foo just doesn't fly, right? Trust me, it's not. It's New Jersey, right? People are as real as you get, so on and so forth. So to tell you that, I'm telling you that because I want you to understand that I didn't believe in this when I first saw it. I didn't believe in the theory. And it wasn't until I heard the same thing over and over and over again that I was like, let me just take a look at it. There's an old, I think it was like a Harvey Keitel movie. And he said something that he told like this parable. It was like basically a joke, right? And he said, the first time someone calls you a horse, you smack him in the face. The second time someone calls you a horse, you punch him in the nose. The third time someone calls you a horse, you better get fitted for a saddle, right? So similarly, right, I heard people talking about journaling and how amazing it was. I was like, yeah, woo, foofy, get out of here, and then the next person came along and said, oh yeah, it's amazing, da, 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 da. And finally, by about the third person that told me that, I'm like, you know what? Maybe there's something to this, right? So I was part of a sales training program back in 2016, and there was a lot of people that are big proponents of it. I said, you know what, let me just give this a shot. And I can't believe like how many things that I used to think about, worry about, want to change that just evaporated because I started journaling on them every day. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into a little bit of the theory on why journaling works. And then I'll go ahead and get into how you can take up this habit. And what I would say is this, right? If you're really open to becoming the best version of yourself, okay, then what I would recommend is try just for 30 days. Just journal every day. Keep your journal on your office desk, and every day when you get into the office for 30 days straight, take 10 minutes and journal. I'll even give you the layout and how to do it and so forth. Very, very simple. It takes 5 to 10 minutes. And oftentimes all you're doing is rewriting the stuff from the previous day. So it doesn't take a whole lot of mental energy, but I promise you the effects are absolutely life-changing. I have never, ever seen in my entire life anything that is this like relatively simple and easy, but this profound in terms of the changes, the lasting changes that it helps you to make in your belief systems, in your subconscious mind, and so forth. Okay, so let's dive into it. Why journaling? Okay, now I love science. I absolutely nerd out on science. So what I like to do is give you a quote from a very famous Stanford neuropsychologist. His name is Dr. Andrew Huberman. And he says that now he has his podcast and everything. And shout out to the Huberman Lab, right? And one of the things he goes into is why writing something is important. Like they've done all kinds of studies and so forth. And what they found is the value of writing by hand, now this is quoted by him, cannot be overstated. When we read or listen to something and then write down key takeaways by hand, not by typing, it engages motor circuits in ways that deeply embed the information into your memory. Writing by hand, however cursory, is the best way to recall information. Okay, so that's one layer of it. Now, one thing I want to impress upon you is another concept, and it's called the reticular activation center of your brain. Now, it sounds like a lot of words and syllables, right? But let me break it down like this. The first time I remember experiencing this phenomenon was when I went to go buy a Honda Accord. And I went to the dealership and I went there and I test drove it and I was all fired up and everything. And I was on my way home and I'm driving down the highway. And I swear it was like every third car seemed to be in a Honda Accord. Okay. So I remember saying like, wow, they're all over the road, this and that. And the other thing, what I came to learn years later is that was nothing more than my brain, like connecting the dots, right? The reticular activation center of your brain, what it does is it finds things and it makes connections, right? So just as when I went to the dealership and I saw a Honda Accord, it started noticing all these things out there, right? What journaling does for you, and the reason why it's so darn effective, is because when you start putting these things on paper, right? Now, we already have, if you choose to believe Dr. Huberman, know that it engages motor circuits that deeply embed information, right? So by writing it down, it's deeply embedding it into your brain. And then the reticular activation center of your brain starts connecting the dots on how to solve these problems and how to come up with solutions, right? One thing that I highly recommend to all my students is that you plan your day the night before. So before you leave the office, write your to-do list, because your brain will start working on it while you sleep, and you'll wake up in the morning with insights and so forth that you would not have had if you were to get to the office and then figure out what you're going to do that day. Right? So very, very important. So what we do is we layer on what we know about writing, right? We layer in what we understand about the reticular activation center. And then on top of it, we game us creating our to-do list the night before, right? Similarly, basically what you're going to be journaling is almost like a to-do list of behaviors, a to-do list. And what you're going to find is throughout your day, and even when you sleep, your brain will work to find solutions to these things that you're looking to improve. Okay. So that's kind of like the science behind it. Now let's talk about the actual practice. Okay. For years now, I have been writing out my goals every day. Very, very important. And obviously, if you write down your goal, I write down your daily goal, my daily goal, my weekly goal, and then my annual goal. Because the theory is, if you always hit your daily goal, naturally you'll always hit your weekly goal, and which you'll hit your monthly, your quarterly, and then finally your annual goal. So as long as you're hitting your daily goal every day, that's super duper important. So what I do is, the top of my journal, I write goals. Okay, I write the date, I write the goals, and then I write whatever my goal is today. Now, and the most important part is you write it in the past tense, like something you have already accomplished, right? Now, and the reason why you do this is your brain doesn't understand the difference between fiction and reality, right? Like there's a lot of people that do visualization, because your brain doesn't know the difference between something you imagined and something you actually saw. So knowing that, the way we can hack our brains is writing your goals in the past tense. I made 50 dials today. I made $200,000 this quarter, or whatever your income goals might be, right? And if you're allowing yourself, like I took 3 listings this week, I made $500,000 this year, whatever that number might be for you, the most important part is you write the goal every single day. Now, the best part about it is, and part of the trick is, when you write this goal first thing in the morning, it's pretty hard to arrive at the office, pick up your journal, right? Okay. Write down, I made 50 dials today, and then not do anything about it, right? It's very, very hard. Like we as human beings, we strive to be congruent with our words and make our actions congruent with our words, right? So at the end of the day, when you think about it, when you're writing this down, it's very, very helpful, because you kind of like, you bind yourself to what your daily behavior, it needs to be. And then it's like, oh, shoot, now I got to go do this, right? This was very, very helpful for me when I was really getting cranking and doing a lot of dials and making a lot of meetings and taking a lot of listings, right? So what I want to impress upon you is write your daily goal, your weekly goal, and your annual goal. Because if you do your daily goal, or I should say, if you write your daily goal and actually achieve it, boom, you're halfway there. Okay. And if you do that every single day, think of like the snowball that's going to get you up and going, right? I had one of my students, he just struggles all the time to like hit his daily numbers. I said, okay, here's what I want from you. I want you to journal every day. Just journal every day from now until the next time we see each other. And then you tell me how your numbers are working. And the beautiful thing is he finds that it binds him to the action. Writing the words binds him to the action. It makes him that much more likely to go out and do it. Okay. So again, at the top, write goals, write daily, monthly, daily, weekly, and annual. Okay. Then what we're going to do is, okay, great. It's nice to have a goal, but let's do what's called small chunking this goal. Okay. You have this lofty goal. How do I do that? Okay. So you're going to need behaviors to accomplish it. You're going to need a mindset to accomplish it. And you're going to need the skills to accomplish it. So for instance, if I made my main goal, I made 50 dials today. Okay. The behavior is going to be get to the office by 8, start dialing by 10 after 8. Okay. The mindset is going to be, I am the best choice of a listing agent in my market. Something along those lines. But all you're trying to do is you're trying to break whatever this goal is into three constituent parts. And if you can figure out what the behavior, the mindset, and the skills that you need, then it makes achieving that goal so much easier. Okay. So the mindset might be, I'm the best listing agent, in the county, whatever, right? Or people want to do business with me. People want to give me listings, that sort of thing. And then finally, the skills will be, I am very skilled on the phone. I am charismatic and know what to say with rebuttals, something like that, right? Something along the lines of what technique you need or what skills you need in order to do that, right? And then finally, right, attract. And all you want to do is write there what you want to attract. And again, I know it's woo-woo, but I'm telling you, if you write it down on a piece of paper, your brain subconsciously will start connecting dots for you. Okay. And next thing you know, you look and you're like, oh, wow, amazing how that worked out. Okay. So that's the first part. So it's your goals, it's your behaviors, your mindset, your skills, and then what you're looking to attract. And then finally on this sheet is affirmations. Now you can write 5, you can write 8, you can write 10, and all it is where you would like to be, and you write it in the past tense. So like, for instance, I used to get on the phone before I was, a skilled cold caller, and I would get nervous because I didn't know what to say because I was like new in the business, right? And one thing I found was that I found myself rushing and speeding up how quickly I spoke because I was nervous that people would ask me a question and I wouldn't know the answer to. Or they didn't want to hear like what I had to say. So I wrote, people want to hear what I have to say, right? And then over time, it allowed me to really slow down, take it a little bit easier on the phone and be able to really listen to them and become an active listener. And when I became an active listener, I got a whole lot more listings and a whole lot more meetings because I was actually present, not worried about getting off the phone quickly so that I could just get the meeting, right? Okay, that's one thing. It might be one of those things where, I believe that like if you have a trouble with, let's say, like self-belief, like I am the best agent around, like anything that's going to help you project the belief that you want to have in the future. Maybe you're not very good at cold calling yet. Maybe you say, like I am the best cold caller in my office, right? I take more listings than any agent in my office. Whatever that might be, whatever you need to write in like a future tense, and you write it in either the present tense or the past tense, and your brain doesn't know the difference. Okay. So I would recommend in the beginning, just write down 5. Very, very easy. Okay. So your daily goal, your weekly goal, your annual goal, your behavior, your mindset, and your technique or skills that it's going to take to create that goal. And then finally, what you're trying to attract. And then 5 affirmations. Very, very simple. If you did that for the next 30 days, I promise you'll start rewiring your brain, because your brain, again, doesn't know the difference between reality and what you're telling it. Okay. So if you would like a copy of this template, go ahead and just comment below. We'll be happy to get you over a copy of it. It's on a Google Sheet. Very, very simple. But if you just print it out and then write it out, or if you just get a good old notebook like this and just write in it every day, goals, the behaviors, the mindsets, and the skills, and then your 5 affirmations. Okay, folks, I hope this works for you. Go ahead, when you get some feedback and you've been doing this for a little bit, go ahead and comment below and let me know how the impact it had on you. Maybe something that you accomplished that you never were able to, maybe a habit that you were trying to create, because I promise you, if you want to embed new habits, embed new programming into your brain, this is far and away the fastest way of doing it, and it's backed by science. Okay, folks. So if this is helpful for you, feel free to put comments below, write your biggest takeaway or anything that you might have accomplished while doing it. And if you guys want to learn more, if you want to really make this your year, your best year ever in commercial real estate, and you want to become a listing agent, go ahead and reach out to us at www.commercialsalesforagents, and we'll be happy to see how we might be able to help you and get you up and running and taking listings, right? And if you got any value out of this, or you like our other podcast episodes, feel free to like and subscribe. We absolutely love new subscribers. And then go ahead, comment any other additional content you'd like to hear us go over, because we're always striving to create new content that's going to put new ideas in your mind so that you can continue to move your business forward every day. Look forward to seeing you folks on the next one. Hope you're having a great day. Bye now.